Good evening. What day is Thursday, May 8th, 2025. Your day for Friday tonight. All right, let's go. Well, no setups going into tomorrow. Tonight and lately, I've been thinking quite a bit. The secret, as I preach anyway, it's not some revelation, but the secret to trading really is being patient. And obviously, if you're patient and you wait for the best setups longer term, you'll do well. It doesn't guarantee that individual setup is not going to work. So I can't guarantee you, obviously, the next setup will work swimmingly. But that's certainly the way to trade. Not a fantastic day to portfolio. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Again, not a lot to look at for now. Again, now's the time to sit on your hands. IAG looks okay in gold. It's a little wide and loose. If it wasn't a gold stock, I wouldn't be. It wouldn't be in the Landry list likely. Anyway, and then TTAN, it looks okay. It could actually use a little deeper pullback in here. So let's just hold off for now. That's okay. You don't know when the next setup is going to come along, and just wait patiently. And again, I think that's really the secret to trading. If I had to name just one thing, CCL beginning to rally, or continuing to rally, I should say, back above its 50 simple. Now, longer term, still in downtrend, but it is kind of bottoming out, and obviously just honor your stops just in case. If we survive the retrace and it rolls back over, then that's great. Obviously, if we stop out, it becomes better than a poke in the eye. TFPM coming in a little. Gold got whacked a little today. We'll get to that in just 1 second. But if you can take out this recent pivot point, it should do just fine. That'll put it at all-time highs, and that would be certainly, obviously a good thing. Let's take a look at the overall market, and then, of course, we'll drill down a little. Well, since we're on the NASDAQ, we'll do it. NASDAQ composite, gapping open and kind of all over the place. That's kind of interesting about this market. It takes off with a lot of vigor, and then it chops around, and then late day we had a lot of selling. So intraday, a lot more goes on than would suggest in the overall market on a daily basis, at least. Still below that 200-day moving average, which corresponds to the recent little peak in here. As I often preach, a lot of technicals often come together at the same point, and you get a little bit past that, you've got the overhead supply. Pretty much everything you said for the NASDAQ does apply to the piece. Not too far from this pivot high, which is just above the 200, which we're just below, obviously. And then once you get past that, tons and tons of overhead supply. Lots of people will be looking to get out at break even. It's just human nature. I'm kind of a man on the street kind of guy, and I've seen it happen many, many times where people like, as soon as it gets back to the old highs, I'm out of here. So we'll have to get through that overhead supply, obviously, before getting too excited. Russell 2000, not a bad day there. Look at that, up nearly 2% off its best levels. It's still a decent day. Nonetheless, maybe it'll bottom out and lead us out of this mess. It's still going to have a lot of issues to deal with, such as overhead supply, like the other indices. But again, and as usual, one day at a time. Uranium, a little bit of an opening gap reversal there, but it's been trying to bottom out as of late. It's bow tied to the upside. It will have a lot of overhead supply to deal with. Marijuana is another one of those areas, sort of like that. I'll just punch, oh, here it is, MJ. You can see kind of bottoming out, but it will have some overhead supply to deal with along the way. So I'm keeping an eye on these areas to see if any opportunities pop up, obviously. Gold and commodity getting whacked pretty hard. Gold stocks, obviously, or as you would expect, I should say, following suit. Although the gold stocks do look a little bit better than the physical gold. Most sectors, as I would say quite a bit, still look questionable. Some of them have been rallying as of late, though, and obviously you have to start somewhere. We start seeing bow tie proper order in some of these areas. We'll have to start paying attention for possible upside moves, but unfortunately, most of these areas, kind of like the market itself, have some short-term and not so short-term resistance. Look at all the overhead supply we could have to deal with. And the SMH, that's the semiconductors, obviously. Take a look at defense. We did break out the brand new highs there. Pretty impressive. It's a V-shaped recovery at high levels. I'm not a big fan of that pattern. But if it can continue to rally, then maybe trade sideways and walk off the overbought condition, maybe that might be one sector we'll look to go after. But again, let's just wait it out, take things one day at a time. A lot of areas still look questionable, again, at best. Energy so far just pulling back, remaining in a downtrend. Health service, none of those areas. It was actually down a little today. We're ready to get a downtrend. Major drugs recently stalled out in their rally, and they were hit fairly hard today too. So it's hard to get too excited just yet, even though the market, especially in selected areas, is trying to bottom out. But again, one day at a time. Everybody have a fantastic night. If you have any questions, you know the routine. Thank you so much.